What's up, friends? Jewel back with another astrology video, and we're talking about Chiron at the 29th degree, the Anaretic degree, and why this is significant and why we even pay attention to this in astrology. So Chiron is the planet of how we have experienced wounding, especially past wounding as children, and then how we use that as a positive, how we use that to help others. It is a lot of times known as the wound that can't be healed. So it's represents that part of ourselves that's very deeply somewhat compromised, and how we can learn from that, gain wisdom from that, and impart that to other people, and really make lemonade out of the lemons that life has handed to us. And where in the chart, and we can do that, and the style of that, how we do that is really represented by the aspects and the sign and the house that Chiron falls into. So if you have not watched my previous video on the Anaretic degree and what it is, you should stop this video and go back and watch that, and then come back to this one, because I'm not going to go back and explain the whole thing about the Anaretic degree again, because I'm impatient. So you'll have to go back and watch that one and then come back to this one. So in a nutshell, the Anaretic degree is where planets struggle to show their positive side. So when we have Chiron, which is, I consider, a personal planet, this is something, an entity in the birth chart that is actually very big. Chiron shows up a lot. And because, as humans, pain, suffering, difficulty, this is a large part of life. And Chiron really accounts for that. And so I always include it in my interpretations, especially if it's highly aspected. And when I see it at 29 degrees, it is a big clue that this asteroid, Chiron, in somebody's chart is functioning very powerfully. This is something that they're seeing show up, probably more so than other people. So typically when we see Chiron at the Anaretic degree, it shows somebody who's working on a persistent issue. Something that is causing them deep pain, but is not easily solved. So they could find themselves stuck on a behavior pattern that really causes some self-injury or some self-pain. We see more of the issues of Chiron coming from the self. So more self-sabotage than other positions with this asteroid. So escapism is a big thing when Chiron comes to 29 degrees. So, and this is really not beneficial. Escapism does not lend to healing, because we're not there to do it. If we're not present, we can't move forward. And Chiron issues at the Anaretic degree tend to persist because there is an element of running away. So it's really, at the 29th degree, any planet is very tired and has somewhat defective vision. And whatever point there as well too at 29 degrees. And it really struggles to show its positive side. So it's really about mastering the karma of Chiron. Looking deep and looking at what's behind the apparent issue. Because there is always something much deeper going on than what somebody is thinking when we have Chiron at 29 degrees. It helps to have, talk therapy, astrology, psychology. It helps to get help from the outside to see what the, the real nutshell issue is when we have an anaretic Chiron, because it can be showing up as, addictions, a lot of the time escapism, and which addiction is, it's a form of escape. So, pinpointing the original wound is huge, and making, falling in love with that inner child is so beneficial for somebody with an anaretic Chiron. Their inner child tends to be more wounded than most. And when they can really make contact with that, with that part of them that they feel sorry for, because most of the time there is a thread that runs through their lives of self-pity. And that really comes from this sense of, this wounded, shaking, quaking inner child that was never properly nurtured. So the source of the pain behind the need to escape, and there can be many forms of escapism when we see Chiron at 29 degrees. They can get really creative. We can see, of course, drugs or alcohol. Negativity can be a form of escapism. Denial, other people, love and relationships, absolutely a form of escapism. Food, work, games, all can be things that can show up as, a comfort to the wounds of Chiron, but really it causes more pain. So this, this theme of the cure, causes more pain. So they need the cure, which causes more pain. This is something they can really fall into when we have Chiron at this particular degree. So Chiron is really where, we put our pain to work for us, and where it becomes a positive. So our deep weaknesses become our strength with this particular asteroid. And because planets show their more negative traits at 29 degrees, it's nature, of the nature of Chiron in the life shows up very strongly, and it really becomes a major player in the chart. So it's really about, really addressing the true pain behind, escapism types of behaviors that we're seeing. Because, typically it is more difficult, to find that with Chiron at 29 degrees, because we have more layers of, of behavior to get through to really see, what it is. Because, somebody with the Chiron at 29 degrees, when you talk to them, they'll tell you, this is my problem. It's that I can't get ahead at work, or that I have this physical attribute, that I just can't live with, or that, just can't make peace with. But when you really investigate why that is such, whatever that hang up is such an issue, there is something emotional behind it. So once they're able to see that, then they're able to make some progress. They're able to get unstuck. They're able to address the real pain, which often is hidden from them when we have this Chiron at 29 degrees. So hope you enjoyed this. Hope it brought some measure of comfort or understanding to you. And please subscribe to my channel if you have not. You can find me on the internet at truthinAspectAstrology.com, and on Facebook at Truth in Aspect Astrology. Yes, I do private consultation a lot. Email for appointment, truthinAspectAstrology@hotmail.com, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.